Welcome to the Power of Love show, sponsored by the DDJF Foundation, where we shine a light on loss and grief and how it impacts our lives. We are here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the Power of Love show, sponsored by the DDJF Foundation, where we shine a light on loss and grief. I am TJ Jackson, and with me I have my brother Taj Jackson.
What's going on?
And we, of course, for everyone who's seen our show or listened to our show, we are live right now on Facebook and YouTube. You also could be listening to us on a recorded episode of this on our podcast. But saying all that, we have an awesome show with a cool guy. I feel like I'm saying that every week, but we just had we've been having a great run of guests, and this one is even, I don't want to say more special, but he's got something really cool about him that I'm going to share in a minute. But we are not, let's do this disclaimer first. We are not licensed therapists. We are just ordinary people who have experienced loss in our lives. We've been impacted by it, and we've learned from it. Saying that, if you need professional help, we urge you to seek it and to find it. Do not just rely on us. Taj Jackson, today's date is November 4th, 2020. The election was yesterday. We still don't have official results. The election has swung left, right, every single direction. So it's been a little bit of a, what's the best way to say it? I guess an unsettled ground, as we don't know technically who's going to be our president in 2 months. With that said, Taj, we go back and forth whether we should do this, but I'm going to ask you, how has your week, day, how's everything going?
Anxiety for the week in terms of just leading up to the election day, just in terms of the, not only nervous energy, just the discourse, I guess it is, from everyone. And
now you always vote, right?
Yeah.
You've been good about that.
I've always voted. Yeah.
Good for you, Taj.
Thank you. I got to set the example for my younger brother.
Well, you didn't set so great of an example because this is my second time voting.
Yeah.
So don't take too much credit on yourself.
You're learning. You're about 5 years behind me.
Well, either way, I commend you for that. And I was very active on my social medias urging people to vote. And I think it's important, and as I've, because of this quarantine, I've been doing a lot of self-reflecting and learning a lot about our history. And I see and have seen and learned about a lot this year about what we've went through as people to get the right to vote. Yeah. So that's changed changed my perspective going forward. I'm going to make sure I vote like you in every single election.
Well, one of the reasons why I started was just because I felt it was a little hypocritical to complain about something if you don't vote. If you didn't vote, then, I mean, it's understandable if you don't vote because you're, I don't know. I can't even make an excuse, but I think I wanted to be someone that could complain either way, but say I voted. So, I did my part in that way.
Not articulated well, but we got the message, Mr.
Hey, it's the day after the election. What do you expect?
You did say you haven't slept much, so I'll give you something there.
Yeah, I just basically shaved about 20 seconds.
It's all good. It's all good. You get a pass. I'm not gonna be too hard on you.
Thank you.
But yeah, for me, it's been a wild week as well. I feel like I'm just playing catch up. I feel like that's every week. Throw on the election, throw on school and Zooming, which is something I want to say real quick. I'm in this area. Normally I'm, with all the books behind me, because two of my kids are on Zooms right now, and I didn't want to deal with bandwidth. I don't want to deal with any issues. So hopefully I am wired directly. So hopefully we'll have no internet issues.
Yay.
Yeah. So I won't have to leave you on an island. But saying all that, Taj, I think we need to get right into it, because this guest is going to be.
I'm excited about the guest.
Yeah, it's a fun one. I already know. I'll just get straight into it. On today's show, we welcome motivational speaker Derek Clark. Derek's life is one of resilience and redemption. As a child, he suffered unthinkable child abuse, abandonment, and emotional distress before being turned over to the psychiatric hospital at the age of 5. His 13 years in the San Francisco Bay Area foster care system reflected an early life of humiliation, aggression, emotional distress, overwhelming anxiety, and being wrongfully labeled. Eventually, with the help of foster parents, a fantastic social worker, and mentors, he defied the artificial limitations imposed upon him. Derek knows firsthand how to cope with adversity and overcoming hardship. His past has never held him back from accomplishing what he set his heart and mind to do. Love it. Derek is an inspirational motivational speaker, motivational trainer as well. His popular keynotes are the power of resilience and redemption, from brutal trauma to triumph, and you cannot think negative about a child and expect a positive outcome. Love that title. He is also the author of 7 books, including Disable the Label, Never Limit the Potential of a Child, Never Limit Your Life, and the I Will Never Give Up book series. Derek's true life trials and personal triumphs have inspired organizations worldwide with his message of resilience, hope, courage, unwavering perseverance, and redemption. He recently received the International Foster Care Award through SOS Children's Village, where they are located in 134 countries, helping and protecting children. Wow. Derek has also been a featured expert on CNN Headline News, the Steve Harvey TV show, the Ricky Lake TV show. I remember Ricky Lake. It was a fun show. And other TV shows around the world. Recently, Derek has become a viral video sensation for his Rapping Dad videos, which have had over 250 million social media views. With all that said, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Power of Love show, Mr. Derek Clark, a.k.a. Rapping Dad.
What's
Mr.
up,
Derek?
Taj TJ? I'm chilling with the Jacksons. I love all my music and stuff in the back. You know, I grew up loving your dad and your uncle. So what's up? You know,
I see the music in the background. That's awesome.
I love it. And I said that before we got on live. I didn't know, you know, you do these shows and not know what to expect from your guests, what the background's going to be like. And I'm in this room and I have my guitar and a 3T picture up there. Yeah. And then boom, I see Derek's face with the smile and this incredible looking little studio.
Yeah, see, like, I'll just move it around. I got, look at that little sax lamp over there. There's a sax lamp right there.
Is that?
Yeah,
that is cool.
Oh, wait, wrong way. Wait. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
The alto sax lamp. Then I got like all these guitars, and then I'll move this way. Let's see. Bam, bam. Right? Yeah. Oh, there's your uncle right there.
Hey, I see him.
I do see him too.
That is so
I gotta
cool.
move that way. Wait, over that way. So
I see Marley and my Uncle Michael.
Yeah, my friend made that out of a vinyl. Because he's seen my recording studio, he made it out of a vinyl record and trimmed it off of a bandsaw. And I said, Michael Jackson, Bob Marley, like Pearl Jam, Eddie Vedder. Like I had all these people that I love. And so, yeah, that's your uncle right there. I
love it. How do you make that out of a vinyl? Is it like?
Yeah, he just it's like a saw, a little jigsaw bandsaw or something, and just carved it out. It's unbelievable.
Love it.
There. Bam.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love
look at that. I forgot about that. I just saw that. I'm like, oh, there's your uncle. All right. He's in the house. Okay.
Well, I love it, Derek. And I'm so happy you are here to join us on today's Power of Love show. I love your energy. I love everything you bring. And I thought I accomplished things in life. You got all of us beat, man. You've written books. You've overcome a difficult life. You've done a lot, man, and I commend you. I want to start off like that. I commend you, and I commend your energy.
Thank you.
I have to ask you. I know you are a father as well, and you have 4 kids, right?
4 kids, 3 boys and a girl. Yeah.
How does what happened in your life? How does that affect your parenting?
Yeah, so I have 3 teenagers right now. So, you know, my house is,
good luck.
Yeah, crazy. 15, yeah. So, you know, I had to make a conscious decision. You know, to be honest with you, I didn't want kids in this world. I didn't want to bring up kids in this evil world because I had lived such a crazy past. And you know, my wife had said, "What do you think about being a dad?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to be a dad." She goes, "Well, you're crazy Uncle Derek to the nieces and nephews." And I'm like, "Well, because I get them riled up, I don't have to take them home, and I get fun, right?" But we had a kid, and it was like amazing. And then we had another one, and we started a little bit later on, 30 years old. So we, you know, it was really tough because the fact is I was scared that I was going to end up like my dad. My dad had been in and out of prison for years. He has 3 different families, kids from all over, right? You know, and he was incarcerated over and over again, and very abusive, and to domestic violence and child abuse. I suffered brutal child abuse, and I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to give the love because I hadn't been, you know, organically trained to love. You know what I mean? I learned how to love later on in life. And so I didn't know what love was. I thought love was you abused me as a kid. That's how I got my attention. And so it was tough for a little bit. And then I went through some counseling.
Yeah, good.
You're talking to a guy, rapping dad. People don't know this. I went through psychiatric counseling from ages 6 to 13 years old, twice a week, almost every week. And then I went through counseling again as a teenager, and then counseling as a marriage counseling, right? And so I was scared about having kids. And then once we had 2 kids, I was like, I got to find my mom. I don't know who my mom is. I don't know where my mom, all I remember is the abuse. And that started the healing. Here's the key, why I became the parent I am, which there's no perfect parent, number one. No perfect parent. But you need to heal. That's the thing. When I started healing, I became a better person. When I started to forgive, to let go of the resentment, let go of the rage, the bitterness, the hatred of people that had infected my life. You know what I mean? Not just affected it, but infected me. And I started to forgive. I became a much better person. Which
Derek, how hard was that forgiving process? Was that a hard thing to do? And what did you do to get there? Because a lot of people can't forgive as easily and as efficiently as it looks like you do.
Right. So I did not forgive because I thought forgiveness was weakness, to be honest. And let me give you a metaphor. Let's say, oh man, I don't have one. I was going to bring one in, an orange. Right? And I have this orange right here, and I squeeze this orange as hard as I can. What comes out?
Juice.
Orange juice.
Juice. Right? You said, but look, it's orange juice, not Hennessy, not liquor, not apple juice, right? It's orange juice. So you extend that metaphor to you, and you're squeezed, and somebody did something bad to you, or gossips about you, or abuses you. And when you're squeezed, what comes out of you? For years, what came out of me when I was squeezed was rage, bitterness, resentment, hate, unforgiveness. And I used to think my anger was my power. And you know what anger is? Anger is 1 letter away from danger. Okay? Anger, danger. So now I realize that peace is power. So I didn't like the word forgiveness. I wasn't ever going to forgive my mom, my dad, people that infected me, hurt me, violated me, all that stuff. But I learned the word at 18 years old, the word acceptance. And I started to accept what happened to me and to divorce my story from victim to victor. And then that started me on the pathway of forgiveness, because forgiveness isn't about them, man. It's about letting go and grow. It's about being better and not bitter. You know what I'm saying? It's about having a meaning, a purpose in life. And I was tired of being an angry kid, an angry teenager. I was tired of just being bitter. So when I started to let go of the poison, the heavy armor over my heart, which is normal to protect yourself, right? Yeah. But that vulnerability, letting go and taking the armor off my heart, allowed my vulnerability to empower other people with hope. So I'm not a hate dealer. I'm not a dope dealer. I'm not a dream stealer. I'm a hope dealer. And what is hope? Hope is helping other people excel. Hope. Yeah. Helping one person every day. That's how I live my life. And when you start helping other people, you start healing too. And you create what I call healing experiences. And there's a lot of bad stuff that was done to me, but I accepted it. I acknowledged it. but it's not going to infect me. I'm not going to let my past infect my future. I'm not going to let my parents' mistakes destroy my greatness. I'm not going to let my parents' mistakes define me or confine me. I'm going to let them refine me. And so when you learn your own personal power, you learn how to take responsibility for the direction of your life. Oh my gosh, you catapult forward. You just go forward, and you realize, I'm not going to let my parents or people that have done bad stuff to me rent space in my head anymore.
Yeah.
So how do you get there? You said at 18 you learned about the word, or accepted, or grab the word of acceptance.
Yeah.
How do you get there at 18? At 18, most kids don't even know what's going on.
Right.
How did you have the maturity or the foresight to know the importance of grabbing onto the word acceptance?
Right. So I went through a lot as a teenager as well. My brother was killed, my sister was killed, and my good friend was shot and killed, all when I was 16 to 17 years old. I was angry, was getting expelled out of high school. Everything was out of control. I couch surf. I ran away from my foster home. And then it's really what happens is, out of that desperation in your life, sometimes comes the inspiration and the motivation to change your life situation. And after a good ugly cry, ladies and gentlemen that's listening, we all were born in this world with an ugly cry. And somewhere along the way, we were told, especially as men, oh, crying is a weakness. Don't show people that you're, but the toughest people I know cry. And I realized that later on, the strongest people I know, man, once you let go of this toxic energy through your tears release this toxic stuff, and you can actually have clarity after an ugly cry. Not like the Notebook movie cry or Meet Nemo, Finding Nemo. I always cry at the end when the dad and Nemo meet together, but I'm talking about an ugly cry out of despair, hopelessness. And then clarity comes. And for me, I was like, that's it. I'm going to change my life. See, what's happened to me with all the scars and abuse that's happened to me was not nearly as important as what's happened inside of me. And for so long, Taj and TJ, I was letting the inner me become the enemy. Let me say that again. The inner me becoming the enemy.
Yes, rapping. Go ahead. Do your thing.
I love that.
So I had to take care of me, right? And not hold the poison anymore. And that's the thing. It doesn't mean that it's all right what happened. In fact, I don't even have to hang out with them or love them or anything like that. What I'm doing is taking care of my spirit. I'm syncing my mind to my spirit. I'm syncing them together so that I can be the best I can be and make the rest of my life the freaking best of my life.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, so I've seen some comments. I'm looking through the comments. And some people have mentioned that when they've been wronged, they have a difficult time having that accepting their situation. What would you advise to them? What kind of advice would you give them specifically if you're supposed to accept, you're just stuck at not being able to accept?
Well, when you don't accept and when you don't forgive, you're only hurting you. Chances are they're not thinking about you. The perpetrator, the one that stole from you or whatever, isn't thinking about you, but they're renting space in your head and you're thinking about them all the time. So you got to free your mind. You got to free your spirit. And the way you do that, for me personally, is find some creative outlets that help you build your self-esteem. See, music, right? That's so therapeutic. You have to find something that is therapeutic and get this inside crap out. So whether you go to counseling or a therapist or, you're writing, so hate is contagious. So, you know what I mean? But what else is contagious? Hope is contagious. Greatness is contagious. Kindness is contagious. So if you see that other people have it worse than you, so you'll be able to look at yourself and go, okay, you know what? I'm going to take care of me. I don't have to like the person that did this, but man, I am sick of being weak and letting them control me. That's what it is. You let them control you. And so, but I've dealt with people all over the world that were molested, that were raped, their parents were murdered, all this stuff. And you find that the ones that finally accept what happened and realize that there's a purpose in their life. Find the purpose in your despair. Turn that pain into purpose. Turn that pain into progress. You know what I mean? And so that's what I did. I learned to turn my pain into progress, into purpose. And listen, I lost everything in my life. I lost my brother, my sister at age 5. My brother, my sister, my mom, my dad, my grandma, my grandpa, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, my bedroom, my toys. Over the years, though, I learned how to turn nothing into something. You know what I'm saying? And the way I was able to do it was to accept, to acknowledge, and to take care of my spirit. I'm not taking care of their spirit. Let God deal with that. Let them deal with that. I got to take care of my spirit, and I got to have faith in me.
Derek, I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
I saw the question and I can't find it because there's a lot of questions and comments. One of the questions that I saw that I liked was, what did you think was going on at 5? Yeah. And how did you perceive all of this at such a young age, if you can remember? And then the other question is today, actually, here's the question. My cursor was on it. As a 5-year-old, what did you think was going on? That was from Deborah. And then the other question I have, do you let yourself go back to that time? And if you do you try to push it out? What's your approach if your mind drifts back, whether it's because you saw, like, for instance, there's times, and I talk about this frequently, I could be in a solid mood driving down the street and switch to the dial and hear my uncle singing. Yeah. And for Taj, I think it uplifts him. He gets happy. For me, it does that a lot for me, but sometimes it makes me sad because I miss him. Yeah. So my question is, do you go through those spontaneous moments where it can take you back to your youth? And how do you handle that?
Okay, great question. So yes, I do remember being dropped off at the psychiatric facility, and my mom and my stepdad, my dad was in prison at that time, decided that they didn't want me anymore. Here's the thing. I grew up with a lot of rejection because my mom, my stepdad kept my brother and sister and got rid of me. And when I was at that psychiatric facility, they did lots of tests, neurological evaluations, psychiatric evaluations, brain scans, speech and language evaluations, and they gave me lots and lots of labels. So I grew up with lots of labels in the foster care system in Oakland, California, Alameda County foster care system. Yes, I do have flashbacks here or there because a certain sight, a certain sound, a certain touch, a certain smell, a certain food can take you back to that moment. I mean, we all know your first song you made out with a girl or whoever with, right? We all know a song can take you back to that moment, to your wedding, to first time you're making out, whatever, right? So it's the power. And I went through a therapy at Kaiser Hospital in Northern California called EMDR. Eye movement desensitization reprocessing in my 30s. I had a lot of PTSD, and it has a 70% success rate with veterans with PTSD. And so we go back into the trauma part of your brain and we look at it as an adult and what would you do to help that boy now, right? And so I was able to heal. I mean, I've been burned severely with hot water. I hated hot water for years. I've been drowned in the toilet, ripped my shoulder from. They were trying to drown me in this toilet one time. My mom and my stepdad, they ripped my arm from my shoulder. I mean, it's just lots of bad stuff. So I had a lot of PTSD, and I was able to get through it, thankfully. And it made me a better person, made me a whole person, a healed person. But when I get a flashback or a thought that comes in, I swipe it like a phone. You know, because you're literally one thought away from another thought. So you are the gatekeeper of your thoughts. Research has shown that you have approximately 35,000 thoughts that go through your mind every single day. And a lot of them are going to be negative or fear-based or anxiety-based, right? Because your brain is meant to protect you, right? Survival brain sometimes, right? And so I learned the power of, okay, feel it for a second, feel it for a few minutes, but then swipe it. Think about a good thought immediately. Try to get to a good thought within a couple minutes because you don't want to unpack and live there. A lot of people unpack and live in their sadness, live in their despair, live in their hopelessness. And it's how you view the world. You can either, it's your lens, right? You can see the good in the world or you can see the bad in the world. It's your lens. It's like when I bought the Hummer, when Hummers came out years ago, I wanted that Hummer. Rappers were having Hummers. I was this rapper. I bought a Hummer. But when I got a Hummer, what did I do? I noticed other Hummers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like when you buy a Ferrari or when you buy whatever kind of car, you start looking and you go, oh my gosh, there's that car. There's already out there. So you become, your lens now is on that car. Well, if your lens is on the evil of the world or the bad of the world, you're not going to see the kindness that half the population is going to have. You're not going to see, all the other things that are amazing. So when you have this thought that comes into your mind, feel it.
Love it.
Like you feel your uncle. You feel it. But don't unpack and live in that sadness. Think about the great things he's done. Think about the great music. Think about the love that he brought to this world. The love that he brought to this world. It gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, man.
And I'm a fan of his, right? And so he brought love. He brought compassion. We are the world.
I love it.
He brought compassion. He brought empathy.
And I think, Taj, you go there, right? You can go there pretty easily.
Yeah.
And obviously I have countless loving, amazing memories with my uncle, and that's exactly what he stood for. So I'm going to do my best attempt to live in it for a second and then swipe it. Yeah. And then go straight to there. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. And sometimes I get locked in. Okay. I'm going to give you a little hack right now. Sometimes I get locked into the sadness or the flashbacks, and whatever I do, that freaking thought won't come in. I can't swipe it. It's like it's in buffering mode, right? When watching Netflix or something, it's just like, right? So what I do is I close my eyes like this and I squeeze hard and I put my hands like this backwards, because when you squeeze like a fist, that means you're holding them on. You're still resisting. So you go backwards behind you. And then what do? I think about Ben and Jerry's fish food ice cream.
Yeah, food ice cream.
Oh my gosh, with dark chocolate fishes, okay? Marshmallow, caramel, dark chocolate ice cream. You let it melt for like 10 minutes before you eat it, so it's nice and creamy, and it makes me feel good. So think about something that makes you feel good while releasing the stuff that's holding you back. And man, it takes your mind off to a whole nother, puts it in another level. Another hack I do if I'm kind of feeling frustrated or angry or sad or whatever is they tell you this: count to 10, breathe, count to 10. It never freaking worked for me in foster care because I had a lot of anger, anxiety, all that stuff, right? What helps me, because the brain is meant to move forward, motion, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It never worked for me. But if I count backwards from 765, okay?
That specific number?
Yeah, I just picked that number years ago. But that number, because it works a different part of your brain going backwards, it slows you down. 765, 764, 763, 7. Now you can do 761, 762, 760, much faster. Now, if you're good at counting backwards, then do the alphabet backwards. Z, X, Y, T, B, A. I don't know, whatever, right? But it slows you down, and you aren't thinking about anything but those numbers or the letters backwards. And it uses a totally different part of your brain. So now you're not thinking of the trauma or whatever you're doing. You're actually thinking hard of what's the next number backwards or what's the next letter backwards. Those are some of my life hacks.
Nice.
That's great. Okay, so and I have a lot of questions. I'm seeing questions. I'm gonna hijack because I have a curious question as a parent. I have a lot of kids, Derek. You said you have 4. We actually have the same amount of biological kids. But my question to you is this: you've went through a lot through your youth, and I went through not as much as you, but I went through something. I lost my mother at 16, and So my question to you is: there are times, and I'm going to be completely open and upfront, where a child of mine or a child will say something or act a certain way or be so down on something that is so trivial in my world, or what I went through,
right? And
I am now getting more mature and understanding how to navigate that. But before, it was like, dude, I don't want to hear a thing. You know what I mean? Do you ever do that? Did you ever do that? Or do you ever do that? And then how do you handle a child, one of your kids, teenagers, having an issue? Do you bring up your past? What's your strategy on that?
Yeah. So My kids don't know a lot about my past. My audiences know more about my life than my own kids, because I didn't want to pass on. I wanted them to be the kids. And what happens is parents, not parents, but kids will take on their parents' pain. They take on their poor mom, poor dad. I want them to live their life. They know about me. But what I've realized having these teenagers is what I think isn't a big deal because of the hell I've been through is a big deal to them. And I've got to be, make them feel safe, secure, acknowledge, validate them, and not put them down, but always make them, their feelings are valid. Their feelings are valid, right? And so definitely I've had to just put my life aside and be like, I have brought it up a few times. Man, when I was your age, I didn't even have a freaking blah, 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 whatever. Yeah. But I had to realize that I was stealing their thunder. I was stealing their emotion. I was stealing their spotlight. And here's the key. If they feel like you can't listen to them with the little things, they're not going to trust you with the big things. And it's so interesting, the word listen. That's the number one complaint among youth. I have surveys from youth all over the world. The number one complaint is nobody listens to me. The number one complaint. And it's interesting. We talk, but we don't. We should listen louder with our ears and when we speak, right? And so the word listen, the letters rearranged differently equals the word silent. How many of us listen to reply, or are we silent? We just ask a few questions like, oh, tell me more. What's going on? Oh my gosh, that sucks. Oh, please. What, and have this compassion, this empathy, this sympathy, but also patience. I work on what I call my patience muscle. And I realize that it's not about me, it's about my kids. How can I be a strength for them? But yeah, I've had those weak points where I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys have it so good.
Yeah.
Good. My kids have it so good.
I think it's human nature for us to feel that way. And I don't feel it necessarily you have to have a trauma. I just think life these days, kids are a little bit more, have it easier in a way. But I appreciate your answer.
Thank you. But look at the suicide rate, the highest.
That's true.
And the highest it's been for 9 to 11-year-olds. I was dealing with a 13-year-old in Canada at one of my events, and she had 87 cuts up her arm at 13 years old and 26 on this arm. 87 on this arm, 26 on this arm, 13 years old. Then I was in a juvie in Sierra County up by Tahoe, speaking at a juvie there, and there was a young girl there that had 125 cuts at 17 years old. So both the issues with those people, those wonderful people, were that nobody listened to them. They felt so alone. Yeah. So I have to remember, even as a speaker, when I meet thousands in audiences and stuff, that I am there to just listen because they feel emotionally connected to me. Mm-hmm. And all I do is ask some questions, and you should see, they go, wow, that was a great conversation. Thank you so much for listening. But see, in this world of social media, it's look at me now, right? Everybody's like, no. And our attention spans are 30 seconds now or whatever. And we're looking at our phones and we're like, okay, this person's drama. Everybody's got drama. Here's the key. We're all broken. But that's how the light gets in, right? And I have an ability, just like you have an ability. We have platforms that we're able to help people take the broken pieces of their life and turn them back into a masterpiece. Mm-hmm. We're just instruments. We're vessels from the great God, right? Mm-hmm. We are just vessels. And that's what I have faith. And I just want to be a vessel.
That's great.
I love it. So you rap, you are a motivational speaker, you are an author. Yeah. I could talk forever on any of those topics, but I'm a huge reader of books. So I have to ask a question. You've written 7 books.
7 books.
What would you, first of all, I'll say it this way. I know one of them is I Will Never Give Up.
Right.
What can the reader expect from that one? Or if there's another one you want to highlight, and how can our listeners and viewers learn more about you as an author?
Yeah. So I Will Never Give Up is a great read to let people know they're not alone. Mm-hmm. I deal with death. I deal with abuse. I deal with rejection. I deal with visualize to materialize. I work on myself, how I become. people say, how'd you write so many books? How'd you do this, man? I turn off the TV. I don't party. I work. I'm a hustler. I'm a grinder, right? HUSTLER, hustler. I see. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. Love it.
And so just working my butt off so that I can leave a legacy for my kids, right? And so, but I will never give up is all about, we're all hurting. And hopefully it will empower them to use their own story and to help other people. See, no perfect people allowed, right? But how we deal with our imperfections is how we help other people. See, I love that. I'm coming up with something right now. Hold on. Your story. See, people don't want to show their real selves anymore. It's all about masks. By the time it's noon, right? They've worn 20 masks or whatever. But here's the truth. Your story, I'm talking to you, the audience, your story, if you shared your vulnerability and were real and raw at the right time, your story could be the master key to the lock of someone's self-imprisonment, because a lot of us feel alone. Oh, no one's going to understand me. No one's going to understand me. So that's what I Will Never Give Up, the book, is about. Is
there an audio version of that, by the way?
Yeah, there is on Apple.
Right. Taj doesn't like to read. I don't know.
No, there's an audio book, but it's only on Apple and Amazon, I think. So
yeah, I'm an audio person.
Yeah. Yes.
Does it really, Taj? You retain more from audiobooks?
For some reason, my ears, I've always been like that musically wise. I can hear something and remember it.
Okay. I got a lot of books right here on this shelf over here. I got a ton of books, and I read them, but man, I fall asleep. I'm an audio guy too. Music is audio, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I love it.
Something that gets me. Thank you, Derek.
Derek, we're running short on time, but I have some questions. Okay. I know you're an amazing guest, and our comments, I don't know if you're reading them as you're doing it, but they're amazing, and you're getting a lot of love and support from our community. So in case I forget to tell you, which I won't, but thank you for being here and sharing and opening up and being so cool about it, and showing that energy that you decided to have to get through your situation. So thank you.
You're welcome. And another thing is I wrote to get my pain out. I encourage everybody to write. Like, I would write poems, and then poems would turn into rap. You want to hear something?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a song. Well, I'll probably slam it out, poetry, but it was a song I wrote at 17 years old. I took out all the cuss words because I was like a little bad rapper back then. But it basically tells you where I was at 17 years old, and it goes like this. And I'm going to do it as poetry.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
I love it.
Okay. Who's going to win and who's going to lose? I never thought I'd be wearing these shoes of life. Man, it don't feel right. When am I going to see the light and feel the light? Walk with me. Someone walk with me. Come on, Dad. Yeah, just talk to me. Have you ever thought about me in your life? Why'd you want to kill me and take away my life? I'm your blood dad. I'm your son dad. Yeah, it's messed up knowing that I never knew my dad, who didn't want to be a dad. What's up with that? Don't understand. But yo, I got to move past. Hey, daddy. Hey, where you been? In the jail cell. Yeah, once again. You ain't never seen me smile. Never seen me walk. Never see me talk. Never see me rock this microphone. Yeah, this is my home. Let me out of my pain because I know I'm not alone. Yeah, these are my peeps and I'm telling how I feel. This is no secret and I'm keeping it real now. Mama, why'd you have to run away? Why'd you leave me alone? Why'd you have to make me pay for my daddy's sins and daddy's eyes and daddy's pain and daddy's lies? Now I'm on the outside, yeah, looking inside. I'm going to bust this curse even if I got to die. Everyone loses something sometime. I never thought I'd have to lose my mind and lose my world and lose my soul and lose the ones who really gave me hope. Now my sister's been killed and my brother's been killed and my friend's been killed. When am I going to heal? In the snap of a finger when my life gets jacked in my brain, I'm thinking I'm making it start to feel trapped where the love was. Yeah, hate begins. Now I'm mad at the world because the pain won't end. I'll cover up the hurt. I'll cover up the shame. I'm caught in the middle of a hurricane of pain. So pain, show me what you got. Now I'm never gonna let anyone back in my heart till my wrists start to bleed and I don't feel the need of living this life. Will someone help me? Man, I need you. Say a prayer for me. Yeah, let me believe that you believe in me. Let me believe that you believe in me. Let me believe that you believe in me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's great. Yeah.
Now, listen, I got a third verse now as an adult looking back on that kid. That's pretty dope, huh? That's like a plot twist now. The third verse. And it goes like this.
You're going to do it now, or is it something we have to stream?
Oh, no, we're going to do it right now. We got
Let's do it.
Because it brings it all together.
Let's hear it.
So here's a few lessons that I've learned. I've turned a mess into a message and earned a return. I've turned scars into stars, live like avatars. No one can stop you if you believe in your heart. And this is your life. Go and own it. Never let the past infect your future for a moment. Never let a weakness destroy your greatness. It's time to profess. You're too blessed to be stressed. Bam! You can be everything you want to be. But never let the enemy be your enemy. It's time to be better and not bitter. It's a choice to be a winner, and it's a choice to be a quitter. So if you've been knocked down or thought about suicide, get out of the shadows and hold your head high, because this is your time. And this is your sign. Get up and climb. You were born for this moment to shine. Yeah, rapping dad in the house.
I love it.
Yeah.
Derek, I love what you do, man. I love everything about you, man. I commend you. Honestly, I think you're a special person.
Thank you.
And
Yes.
Everything about you is incredibly contagious and powerful. So I'm so happy you blessed our foundation by showing up and doing this interview with us and being here for us.
Thank you.
So, and like I said, I'm reading through all the comments. You're getting a lot of love, man. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Taj, is there anything before we give Derek, his minute to talk about whatever he wants to talk about? Is there anything else? Yeah, you're still doing that minute, even though you rapped for us, Derek. You still got another minute for us. But is there anything you wanted to ask, Mr. Jackson?
Just this whole conversation was great. There's a lot of things I implement. There's a lot of things I needed to be reminded of in terms of that I did implement in the past, in terms of, letting go of the poison. Like, I'm one of those people that never hold on to grudges or anything like that, because I believe it's toxic. Like, I literally let it flow like water out of me in that way. And it's always worked for me. But just your energy and I always believe positivity is contagious. Hope is contagious. And it's just great to see someone like you, doing that as well in that way. And I commend you, because
Thank you.
You didn't let your past define you. You let it basically inspire you.
Yes.
In a way.
But it was a tough journey, brother. It was a tough journey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, Derek, go ahead, man.
Oh,
up to 1 minute. You could take 10 seconds, 20 seconds, whatever you want. Up to a minute, and I won't penalize you if you go over, man. But
okay, a minute to win it right here. Okay, so you can find me on social media at Rapping Dad, RAPPINGDAD. But let me tell you, greatness is contagious. Okay, it doesn't matter who's going to be the freaking president of the United States right now. What matters is you're the boots on the ground. You're the one with the kindness. The president can't put the kindness in you. The president can't put empathy in you. The president can't put compassion in you. So you can pick your favorite president, and they probably haven't done, the most modern presidents haven't really done anything on the boots on the ground. It's the community that's the boots on the ground. You're the one changing lives. The president ain't going to change no one's lives. You are the boots on the ground. It's your community. Get in your community, love, have compassion, have empathy, and love all of your neighbors. Love your neighbors. Be the example, right? And so I'm going to do a rap.
Yes.
A few more seconds left. I'm going to do a rap. Shaquille O'Neal, so I've been on World Star Hip Hop twice, for good things, right? And Shaquille O'Neal calls me MC Soccer Dad. And Steve Harvey, I was on his TV show. He called me the Rapping Dad. I used to be called the Cool Dad, but he labeled me Rapping Dad. And it all started with this rap, and I'm about to do it for you right now. This is what changed my life. 250 million views just on this video. Snoop Dogg, T.I., T-Pain, all of them have shared these videos. And here we go. And there's always a message, right? So it goes like this. Got to keep the lyrics clean, if you know what I mean. No more Nicki Minaj in her twerking machine. No more naked fashion from Kim Kardashian. You a mom. Do you need an intervention? And Miley, no more wrecking ball. Put on some clothes. Where's Hannah, y'all? Because my daughter loved Hannah Montana reruns. And who's naked Miley, right? You know, so gotta turn off Kanye, Eminem, Jay-Z. No more cuss words and negativity. Because a lot of rappers talk about drug, sex, killing. But when they gonna use the words to start healing? Infect the mind of our young kids. When I think about the little boy who didn't know Jesus, but knew Lil Wayne, knew T-Pain, knew 2 Chainz, 50 LeBron James. This is insane in the membrane because I'm ripping, I'm thinking I'm making, taking back the rap game. Everybody's got a little battle to battle. I'm the rapping dad, got to get you back in the saddle. Ripping, thinking, I'm making, I'm making, kicking it kind of famous. Here I am now making up my own language. You talk Illuminati, talking about your Maserati or your hottie in the back of your Ducati, man. What's the real rap? Not bubblegum pop. I'm from the old school of conscious hip hop.
Love it. Wow, man. Seriously. I have a question before you do go.
Yeah.
The earlier one, the one when you were 17 that you wrote, you said you emulated in terms of you were listening to some rappers and you had to clean it up and whatever. Who was that rapper? Or who was that person that you were listening to in terms of that?
I'm from the Bay, so we got Too Short, we got E40.
I know all of them.
We got a lot of rappers there.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you say who's your favorite rapper, I'd probably say KRS-One. Boogie Down,
Wow.
DDP, KRS-One.
Yeah.
It was the consciousness.
Yeah.
There's not many rappers like KRS-One. I mean, of course, the Beastie Boys and NWA and like all the MC Surge, MC Light, like even female Ice Cube, all them, right? But the Fushnikins, I love the Fushnikins, right?
Yeah.
Because I would do reggae. Is a man that want to feel, they're gonna make it a second, make it a kicking it with the deals. I'm about to feel like and people are like, oh my gosh, this white boy can flow, right?
Love it. Love it. So Derek, I was gonna ask, how do people find out more about you? We have your website, www. I Will Never Give Up. Is that a way for them to listen to your music and to order books? How can we do that?
Yeah, so you can go to Spotify, anywhere digital, and just type in Rapping Dad, RAPPINGDAD. But also social media. I'm all over social media under Rapping Dad, Instagram, Facebook, and such. So just look for the little blue verified check mark, Rapping Dad. You'll see me.
Wonderful. Well, Mr.
Rapping Dad, man. It's been an honor. I'm hanging out
much needed
right here. So.
Derek, I did say it earlier because I didn't want to forget, but I just want to thank you for joining us, for being part of our day, for especially during this crazy time where there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of emotion, and for just bringing that positivity and love. You went through so much in life, and the way you've come out of it, I commend. And I think you inspired a lot of our community.
Awesome.
So behalf on my big brother Taj and our entire foundation and our family, I want to thank you for joining us and sharing your life and being so open and just, giving everyone a hope and giving everyone inspiration on how to help themselves become the best versions of themselves.
Yep.
So
hope is contagious. We all hope dealers, right?
Yeah.
Not hate dealers, not dream stealers, hope dealers.
I love it.
All right.
Well, Derek, thank you again, my man.
You're welcome.
And be safe.
Thank you.
We'll close out the show right here now. So everyone, thank you guys for watching. We know you learned a lot from, I did it just now. I pointed this way, but he's actually this way from this guy. And we will see you guys next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Please be safe. Lead with love. And as Mr. Rapping Dad said, become a hope dealer and stay positive.